Okay, so what we're going to be working on right now is graphing a piecewise function. So you might remember this from algebra because you did do it in Algebra Common Core. So it's a little bit of review. Now on the worksheet it does say right here it says absolute value functions. That's also from algebra. So we will review the absolute value functions tomorrow in class, and we'll talk about the transformations for them. That's also review from algebra. So I want to the absolute value function will be much easier, and you'll recall it. So I do want to go over just the piecewise with you on the video. All right, so notice here it says to graph, and I have in my graph here, my x has to be less than 0. So in your table of values, you're actually going to start at 0. Even though it says less than 0, you're going to start at 0. So it'll be 0, and now you want numbers that are less than 0. So -1, -2, -3, and -4. All right, so now what you could do is you could either plug each of these x values in right here to find your y value, or you could just plug it in your calculator in the y equals. So go to y equals and type in x plus 3 and then go to your table of values. So you might want to put the video on pause if you need to, and then come back. And so now let's fill in our y values. So when x is 0, my y value is 3. When x is -1, my y value is 2. When x is -2, my y value is 1. When x is -3, my y value is 0. And when x is -4, my y value is -1. All right, now when you graph this, you have to take note of this right here. I have this less than 0. There's no equal sign underneath. And remember, less thans and greater thans have an open circle. All right, so for 0, 3, so go to 0, 3 on your graph. So I'm over here, 0, 1, 2, 3. You're going to put an open circle. Okay, because I can't at 0, I have to have an open circle because of that less than symbol. All right, now you're going to graph -1, 2. Put a point. -2, 1. -3, 0. And -4, -1. Okay, so now you're going to draw your line, and it's coming from 0, 3. Use a straight edge, use the side of your book or something. If you have a ruler at home, use a ruler. And it'll look like that. All right, now, let me just make this a little bit better for you guys. So it'll look like this. Okay, so now we need to go to the bottom part here. All right, so I have here x is greater than or equal to 0. So again, I'm going to start at 0, and now I'm going to be greater than 0. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here is my equation, 2x minus 1. So you can either plug each x in to x and then evaluate, or you can plug it into your graphing calculator. So if you want to put the video on pause and plug it into your calculator, that's fine. Okay, so when x is 0, my y value is -1. When x is 1, my y value is 1. When x is 2, my y value is 3. When x is 3, my y value is 5. And when x is 4, my y value is 7. All right, so notice I have at 0, I have a greater than or equal to. So I'm going to have a filled in circle. So less than or equal to, greater than or equal, you have a closed circle. Okay, so when I graph 0, -1, so go to 0, -1. Right, so that's over here, 0, -1. Okay, so you're going to have a closed circle. All right, now plot the other points. So I have 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, and 4, 7. And now draw your line. Make sure you put an arrow at the end. Okay, so it should look like that. And so what this is called, oops. So what this is called a piecewise function. All right, and I'm just going to scroll everything up. And if you look down at the bottom, this is how a piecewise is written. So notice here, they're both listed as f of x because it's the same function. Okay, one has that open circle, one has that closed circle so that it remains a function. And you have this bracket here, both equations, and then what x values you have to use. It's your restriction for your domain. Your x's for this one have to be less than 0, and your x's here have to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so that's it, and we're going to practice some more in class tomorrow, and we're going to practice absolute value and transformations. Okay, so have a good night.